right now, just introducing you. Unmute yourself so you can. Hi, everyone. My name is Georgette True, and I am the host of 5 CPS with Miss G. And I have Miss Stacy. I've been waiting for her buns to come on the show. She's been busy bee at work. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Miss G.
Miss you so much.
Miss you too.
Treasure cannot be with us today, guys, because she told us yesterday she's doing something for her daughter today in court, for her daughter's case, so she can't be with us today. But I'm happy to see my Stacy finally. Finally. So Stacy, okay. I know you want to share court calling, you went to several court callings, right? Or
I
court,
go often, yes.
yeah. So, well, how many did you go to so far?
Well, I don't really keep track, but it does seem that whenever I'm talking to you, I'm telling you that I have court watching for the day. I had an instance where um, the judge kicked me out of the courtroom recently.
Why?
There was a gentleman in there, and we were asked to court watch for him. And I don't know his case because I was asked last minute to just go in and watch. So I have no opinion on criminality of the case. But it was a integrated violence IDV court appearance. And apparently there was some situation with a gun, not in front of a child, but people arguing over something. There was a gun involved. And I don't know the details of that. But what I do know, what I saw as a court watcher, was the guy who allegedly had the gun or what have you. They were taking his kid away emergently, but the whole hearing was held as an attorney's only conference. And he was sitting with everyone in the courtroom, and he was upset. He's like, I can barely hear what they're saying. They're talking about me, and I think they're talking about things that they shouldn't be talking about up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, well, you have rights. And I'm not sure, I would think with IDV court, it's still a criminal court, that you have your Sixth Amendment right to be present at all attorney conferences and sidebars. And I think there's also a thing called anti-marchy rights to be present. So as he was there and frustrated, they were talking about him without him being present. It's a violation of due process regardless. And so we called the court officer over quietly, and he said that he wanted to be up there in the conference, and that was his right of due process. And the court officer said that he was not going to interrupt the judge's private conversation with the attorneys. And I said, are you a judge? I said, well, then why are you making judicial decisions? I said, he has a right to be there. He has a Sixth Amendment right and anti-marchy rights to be up there. This is his case. It's about him. It's concerning him. He has a right to be there.
Right.
And the court officer refused to bring the gentleman up to the judge. So then I quietly went over to another person who appeared to be an officer of the court. And she went up to the judge, and she was saying that this guy wanted to be present up in the court. And the judge looked at us, and I said, he just wants his Sixth Amendment and anti-marchy rights to be respected. And she kicked me out of the courtroom. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, though. I mean, we all get shocked when this happens, but I'm not surprised. Did I tell you what happened to me when I went to India with
Well, hold on 1 second.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
This guy had his children taken away from him ex parte, and he didn't even get to hear anything that was said about him up before the judge.
What?
Yeah.
That's Wait, are we talking about, is this children court? Or are we talking about family law?
In New York State, IDV court is integrated domestic violence. So it integrates both criminal court and family court. So they took his child away from him. And he doesn't even know what was said in front of the judge.
What?
Yes. And then the funny thing is, this is the funny part.
Oh my God.
You know me.
Uh-huh.
The court officer that kicked me out doesn't have an oath on file.
What are you going to do?
I don't know what I'm going to do just yet. I've contacted everyone, but I think I might do an affidavit to the case that is a court watcher. I'm upset that he was denied his Sixth Amendment and anti-Marty rights to be present and hear what was being said about him in front of the judge and to participate in his own defense. And that the court officer that kicked me out of the courtroom has no oath on file. Therefore, he is not an officer ab initio, and his position is therefore vacant. And they need to the court officers need to uphold people's constitutional rights.
You should be on Fox News. In fact, I'm going to email them. I am. You should be, seriously, you need to start talking. The people need to hear you, because what you're doing is a good thing. Okay? And I think we need more people like you.
And like I said, I have no opinion about criminality of the case, nor could I, because as a court watcher, the whole case was held in quiet with just the judge. So court watchers couldn't even know what was going on to have any opinion about criminality of the case. But what I do know is when that gentleman walked outside of the courtroom, he was crying because it was right just before the holidays so that he could spend Christmas with his children. And he was a grown man crying.
Of course, he's a father, for the love of God. Tanya said she wishes she had someone like you watching her case.
Well, what state are you from, Tanya?
Yeah, what state are you from, Tanya? She has an army behind her, by the way, guys. Stacy, that is. Texas.
Texas. So the right of the public to watch court cases is the right in all courts. And even though we've been misled by judges to believe that family court is oh so confidential, the reality is it's not. We have a right to be there. So Tanya, if you want to contact me, what I can do is if you have a group of people, whether you go to church or you have some sort of gathering of people, I can educate people how to gain entrance into the courtroom, and you can start court watching in your own area.
Wait, the business card, remember?
Yeah.
And she will tell you guys what to put on the business card depending on your state, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your state laws.
Right.
And you carry that card with you every time you go. And you can have a court watchers with you at all states, right? Am I right?
Yes. Yeah. It's the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and it's a constitutional right of public access to courts.
Yeah. And Jesse said there was a caseworker and a DNA collector in Alabama lying about drug tests and paternity tests.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah, what they do is they go to your home. They're not a professional to take a drug test, first of all, okay? For them to just do a drug test and a paternity test in your home, that's just so illegal. Am I right, Stacy? I mean, even Davis said that that's not the right way. We even had an expert,
it should be
Attorney O'Clary, saying the same thing. That's not accurate. It determine anything about your case.
Right. And it should be a violation of the Fourth Amendment. It should be illegal search and seizure because they are not officers of the law to do that.
Yep. That is true.
And CPS doesn't have anything. Always when a complaint is made to the hotline, it's always just hearsay. So they don't even have probable cause to execute a search warrant.
And then Tanya said, that happens in Texas too. They drug test me, no gloves. Oh my God. Imagine the lives of.
Well, in Niagara County, where I live, there was such scandal, it even involved the forensics lab. The senator here gifted his sister a position as director of the lab. And under her, um, you know, under her direction, all these things were occurring, and she was bullying um, workers to sign off on credentials for a girl to do drug testing. And the workers with experience were uncomfortable signing off for her credentials because she didn't have enough experience yet, and they were concerned that she was going to um, mess up the testing, which is a big deal because if it's either way, if it's false negative or false positive, that can really um, you know, mess up somebody's life. So um, uh, as out of retaliation for this father and daughter, these forensic experts, out of retaliation, she sentenced the daughter to relocate her office in the firearms room. And the firearms room is leaded walls and leaded ceilings. And she's a woman of childbearing age, so it's toxic. So it's literally like a toxic dungeon for her. And the lawsuit goes on to read that this director also put papers over the windows of her office so that nobody could see the fact that she was illegally receiving evidence from the police. So it's not even what the caseworkers are doing in people's homes when they're not medical. It's even what's happening right at the forensics labs.
Holy God. Oh my God. Yeah, just to say something to Jessie. She said that there needs to be real change. It seems that they remove kids from safe homes and leave kids with the abusive home. I've been saying that for years, Jesse. Ask um Stacy. I've been saying this for years. Since I started the show with Davis, I've been saying the same thing because the kids are happy in their home. All of a sudden, they disturb their peace and leaves the children with the abuser. Always. People say 50% of the time, 70% of the time. I say 100% of the time. I'm not joking you. 100% of the time, the kids are left with the abuser. There was a case in, I think, India or San Diego. I can't remember which, or Murrieta. Either of those, I can't remember. It was like the end of last month, I believe, or towards the end of last month. Um, I went with Davis. I was wearing my suit, I look, court work, I just looked like fine for the court, right? And Attorney Davis said, Your Honor, I would like to have my legal assistant, Georgette Truant, to join me in the court, blah, blah, blah. Now, remember, I've been to court hearings with him before, okay? All of a sudden, the the children attorney, that scumbag, opened his mouth and said, I object, Your Honor. I don't think she should be allowed in here, blah, 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 blah. Right? Davis was not going to like argue with him back and forth, but, he kind of like thought about it. He's like, I wonder why, right? So later on, after the client left the courthouse with Davis, she told me that it's because he watches my shows. He watches my shows. And that's why he didn't want me there. But it's actually illegal. Am I right, Stacy?
Yeah.
There you go. Like I said, but Davis was too busy, trying to get, win the case. So he kind of like thought about it afterwards, and we talked about it on our ride back to the office. And it was kind of like, he's like, that never happened before. Like, kind of like he was kind of like stunned. Yeah. So again, they watch us, they watch me. And I guess because I disclose the truth, they don't like the way I disclose the truth. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? So, but that's okay. That means I'm doing something right. When they hate you, that means you're doing something right.
Right. 100%, Miss G.
So there was news that I heard about a couple of days ago in LA County. So what happened in LA County? 539 arrests, including 40 suspected sexual traffickers and 271 suspected sex buyers. Also, 54 adults and 11 children were rescued, including a 14-year-old girl. And that was on ABC 7 News. And they said human trafficking and child exploitation are devastating crime that prey on some of most vulnerable members of our community, Luna said. That's Sheriff Luna. This week long operation demonstrates that if you engage in human trafficking activities, harm our children, and destroy lives, there will be absolute consequences, and there is no refuge for predators in the state of California, Sheriff Luna said. In one Los Angeles County Operation Task Force personally conducted an undercover sex buyer operation on a stretch of Holt Avenue in Pomona. I know where that is very well. Sheriff Luna said 12 males, 2 of whom are registered sex offenders, were arrested on suspicion of solicitation of prostitution of minors, Luna said. In San Diego County, a 17-year-old girl was at the Parkway Plaza Mall in El Cajon when she was approached by a man who told her she should be a model and gave her a business card that had a phone number on it. Sheriff Luna said the girl called the number and she was told that she would be doing date sex with guys at hotels. The girl told her mother, who contacted authorities, and the suspect was arrested on suspicion of human trafficking on a minor and other offenses, Sheriff Luna said. Now, there is other stories too that you guys are not aware of. Sex trafficking comes from CPS. I'm not joking. How many stories have you guys heard that CPS places children in a sex traffic home? A lot. I know you have. If you do your own research like me and Stacy have, you'll find numerous stories where the children are being sex trafficked in New York and the foster parent is a sex offender. Now, my question to CPS is this: since you're watching my shows, you depleted souls, this is my question. Why would you take children from a good home? Then you hold a felony record against the father or the mother that's from like 30 years ago. Take their 9-year-old and 11-year-old, place them in a home where there's a sex offender lives there. The kids were being trafficked. Social workers would write in their report that the home is fine. They did their weekly check. Everything looks great when they haven't done their weekly check, because if they have done their weekly check, they would know the kids don't live there anymore. Right? Different address in New York City. So these kids were being trafficked for 2 years.
Yes, Miss G, this always goes back to, I bring it up almost every time I'm on the show with you, is that yearly report that's put out by the New York State Department of State on human trafficking. All you have to do is Google it. And it says the United States is the main hub in the world of child sex trafficking. And that we don't really see it occurring tells you even more. It's done under the cloak of confidentiality through the foster system. And it says,
you're right.
It says in the United States, the worst states for child sex trafficking are the Golden State,
California.
California,
What was
Texas,
the second one? Texas?
Texas,
Nevada?
nope, New York,
New York?
and Florida.
And Florida. Okay. So just to let you guys know, if you don't lawyer up from the beginning of the case, before it even becomes a case, it's going to get worse.
And the other thing on these human trafficking busts, I'm thankful for the ones that they do rescue. But think about it. If we are the main hub in the whole wide world, these little busts with 30, 40 kids, even 180, it's nothing.
There are more children being sex trafficked from CPS than there are the 500 that they found,
Yeah,
that they arrested.
the numbers are astronomical.
Yeah, because the CPS homes is very low key. And oftentimes the CPS home that they're placing children with, they're dealing with the cartels. Because you guys don't understand, cartels is not just about drugs. It's about sex trafficking. Okay. I know somebody, I'm not going to say she's a client or she's not a client because we're handling her case right now out of state. She's a grandmother. Her and her husband are great people. And I literally can tell you that 100% sure. Okay. Her daughter was being sex trafficked. Her daughter, the mother of the children, good girl, was being sex trafficked. How did that happen? Let me explain it real quick so you can be aware. When her daughter brought her boyfriend in to meet the family, first of all, her and her husband objected to that guy. She said there's something about him she didn't like. That guy that her daughter was dating was not an older guy, was just a guy, whatever, piece of crap. Now, that piece of crap injected her with drugs until she got so used to it that she wants it. The family noticed her attitude changed, her mindset changed, her behavior changed, right? Then the mother said something is wrong. The grandmother's like, okay, let me have my grandkids. I'll take care of them, what have you. But then all of a sudden her daughter was disappeared. When she found her daughter again, she kept telling her mom, they're after my kids, they're after my kids. Now, when you're being sex trafficked, they're going to mark you with a mark. Okay? These demons have a mark. It's a little bird, with a little thing or whatever. Her daughter kept saying they're after my kids, mom, they're after my kids. Anyways, then she reported it, the grandmother reported it to authority. CPS, of course, becomes involved. But CPS was always involved. CPS was always involved because the grandchildren were already promised to two famous musicians group. And the daughter, the mother of the children, told her mom who they were before CPS even went to her home. Okay, this is not a lie. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is true. Okay, then to keep her daughter silent, they injected her with some kind of, I forgot the name of the drug, but it's something that will kill you. Like they gave her a super dose of something. So when they found her body, her mom saw the tattoo. That was unusual. Her daughter didn't have anything like that. Then she took a picture of it and she sent it to me. I did my due diligence and I asked a private person that does things like that to tell me what that was. And he said it was sex trafficking code, like a tattoo. Then her daughter died. CPS comes to her home, her and her husband, the grandparents, pretending they're here to help the children, and that they said that she failed to protect because she was protecting her daughter. She was more concerned about her daughter, not her grandchildren. The kids were taken, stolen from them, and put in the same home that her daughter warned her of, the famous musicians that wanted her children, a boy and a girl who are gorgeous as hell. And then the grandmother was like, oh my God, my daughter was telling me the truth. Because she was doubting it. She thought the drugs were talking. She didn't know what was going on, like any one of us, right? So, but isn't it ironic that CPS knew them before? If you guys really think about it, Stacy, are you following this?
Yeah.
Are you following it?
I know it's all true, Miss G.
Mm, mm.
I know it's true because that's what my ex used to do. He was an attorney for CPS. I met his victims. I interviewed them. He knew of a pedophile foster parent who got in trouble for sexually abusing the foster kids. And he got all her charges dropped because she blackmailed the other CPS attorney that was her lesbian lover, getting kids for their relationship. So all the charges got dropped. And then my ex continued to do adoptions to her since she couldn't be a foster parent anymore, knowing she was a pedophile. And we have public witness testimony on that in the archives of the show that I used to do.
See? I mean, this is another testimony right there. But social media, like, what's his name? Zuckerberg, whatever his name is, he was like literally being hammered by Congress the other day. I don't know if you guys watched it, but it's like allowing, was it Congress or Senate? I can't remember. Do you remember? Either one, I don't remember. But anyways, they were questioning him as to why he's allowing sex trafficking on Facebook. But you know, like they do this thing now on Facebook where they say, "Oh yeah, what? Oh my God, I forgot the name. I can't even think right now." They're saying truth something like they did Truth Finder, and the information is not accurate, something like that. And then they shut down your show, suspend your show for like a week or something like that, right? When the information is accurate, but yet they're introducing sex trafficking on Facebook. I'm not joking. These are minor children. These are 9-year-old, 8-year-old showing their boobs and their behind, right? On social media. But then his excuse is, well, it's not against uh, community code. Huh? Not against
Right.
community code. You guys ought to follow this shit. This is real. Zuckerberg did not want to go against the Democrat Party, right? He's literally their little puppet, right? Whatever that goes against them, whatever that will expose them, they have to keep it shut from the public. I mean, if you guys really think about it, dig deeper in this, and you'll understand more. Jason, sense, I love you. I miss you. I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy to see Stacy back with me, and hopefully I will not get COVID again. I will be on the show.
That was awful, Miss G.
Yeah, I had COVID on Christmas, you guys, and she saved me. Well, with God's help, of course. She literally saved me because everybody was on vacation, and I was like literally. She saved me. My girl saved me. She prescribed me the right medication, and I got better. Thank God. So thank you, Miss Pine. Miss Pine.
You're welcome,
Um,
Miss G.
so yeah, so it's a lot. And Jesse said, if the government cannot find 85,000 immigrant children, what makes people think they will keep up with the American children? Exactly. I mean, guys, this is so true. I am not joking, you guys, when I tell you this. They want us silenced. They want us to be divided. And those people that's watching the show from CPS, I'm telling you the God honest truth. They don't want the truth to come out.
Let me tell you about a little scandal in my town, Miss G, because I know
Mm-hmm.
you know a little bit about it.
Yeah.
We had a judge commit suicide who was under investigation for human trafficking at the time of his suicide. And I get the two judges mixed up because they're both so nefarious.
Uh-huh.
One judge's name was Mikulski and one judge's name was Michalek, and they're all involved in the same thing. I think I forget the judge's name. It's the judge's name that committed suicide is one of those two. And I was reading federal court transcript of the case of Geraci, and who was the strip club owner. And the FBI had texts of the judge contacting Geraci, asking him to hook him up with some PUSSY. And that's the Supreme Court judge. And so the FBI was following him for human trafficking, and he was a Supreme Court judge. The other judge,
Wow.
the with this similar last name, Michael Ecker Mikulski, he got in trouble for accepting bribes from Stephen Pidgeon, who is the nation's top fundraiser for the Clintons.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Pidgeon is now in jail for sexually molesting his niece. So it goes on and on. So they in all this scandal with this strip club owner, the name of the strip club is Pharaohs, and the guy's name is Peter Geraci. They've taken down a school resource officer detective, Amherst police detective, is being complicit in the sex trafficking agenda. So it's kind of alarming. He was a school resource officer. And so it's just more and more scandal with Supreme Court judges, bribes, sex trafficking, cops. They're all involved.
Yep. And sometimes I wonder.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
One more thing. And now we have an attorney, Steve Cohen, who is under investigation for conspiracy to murder one of the witness prostitutes in this scandal.
The mic is dropped for you, Miss Stacy, because I'm just saying, you guys, this is everywhere. So all the people that you're voting for matters. And if you're gonna vote because you're a Democrat for a Democrat who's a scumbag, then you're not making the right vote. You're not doing the right vote, because if this happens to you or your family, you're going to recall your vote. You voted for a scumbag. And Jesse made a statement here. She said that the 1997 act was written by Hillary Clinton. It was by Bill Clinton, but Hillary Clinton, when she took over office with Obama, yeah, she tweaked it a whole lot. Okay, she gave them more immunity, more funding, you name it. That's why social workers walk in your home and saying, "I'm a social worker. You can't. I'm a what? A government official. You can't touch me. You can't blah 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 blah." When in fact you can record them. They're they're government officials. If you look at the code, any government official, you have the right to record. So if we can record the police, and I'm not giving you this advice to say that it was an attorney that gave you that advice. I'm telling you what I read. I'm telling you what I saw. Stacy, correct me if I'm wrong. If they're government officials, you can record them.
Yeah, there's laws about that. I'm from New York State, but they have in our courts, they'll yell at you all the time or threaten to arrest you if you're recording the court officers or the clerk. Well, guess what? In New York State, they are peace officers. And in New York State, peace officers, you can record them in the discharge in their official duties. So when they threaten to arrest you and tell you you're not allowed to record, blah, 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 the actual law is you are allowed.
Mm-hmm. See? But you know what they tell you? They say, "Oh, no, you're reading it wrong. You're reading it wrong." No, we're not. No, we're not reading it wrong. But the reason they don't want to be caught is because they don't want anyone to know what they do. If you guys watch the YouTube video with the 3 appellate judges, and a CPS attorney telling them what she's explaining to them. Stacey, was it appellate judges or were they federal judges? I can't remember.
What are you talking about, Miss G?
There's a CPS attorney explaining to three judges as to why it's okay to lie, why the social workers can lie to remove children from parents, and all of them could not believe that this shit exists, but yet
That
they
was
know it exists. Now
that
that
was that was Deanna Hartwick's daughter's case. That I
okay,
think it's
see,
Orange County, California. I think it was. Yeah.
yep. And they're telling the judge, Orange County, LA County, period, is so corrupt because it's the highest number of CPS offices are in LA County. Just so you know, um, they literally they're excusing themselves as to why they lie to remove children from parents. And the lie just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then your neighbors think you're a bad parent, and then your friend think you're a bad parent, and your family is questioning your ability to parent because everybody believes government officials, when government officials who are in charge of this are the worst human beings on the face of the earth. And honestly, there's no good days coming to them because I truly believe that evil will receive nothing good. Nothing. God is against all of that. So, you guys think God is not working in your behalf, but He is. You just have to get to Him. You have to ask Him to come in your life. For the love of God, just ask Him, and He's not gonna forsake you. There's a message here that she said that she just let her kid, she allowed for the adoption to go through because she couldn't afford an attorney. And but I want to tell you something. I know it's heartbreaking for you to even think about it, but I want you to fight, meaning I want you to show your face, your presence, so your children can Google you and see mom still standing up for what is right. If you want to be on the show with me, you can. With me and Stacy, you're more than welcome. I have Treasure also. You don't have to be on the show every day, but whenever you want, let your son or daughter or kids in general see you fighting for parental rights, and you're not ashamed to fight. So that way they see that you are a true victim of CPS. Okay? Because they're feeding your kids with a bunch of lies right now that you have no clue about. So um, she said, oh, God knows, He sees everything, He repays, He hears a mother's cry. Oh, yes, 100%. You're absolutely correct. But CPS, I'm telling you guys, if you can't afford an attorney, okay, if your case is in Los Angeles County, I need you to call me, or I call the office, call the 888-888-6582 and ask for Georgette, or ask for Miss G, or ask for GT. They call me GT or Miss G or Georgette, whichever. And I'm going to see what I can do to lower your retainer. Okay. But I will have to communicate it with Attorney Davis. He has to approve it first. But um, I will work with you. But if your case is in LA County, if your case in another state, I'm sorry, that's out of my lead. Because Attorney David would require to travel there, and it's long distance, and it's not going to be cheap at all. But for LA County cases, San Bernardino, um, you know, LA, like I said, Victorville, all that, I can see what I can do to bring your retainer down and help you out. Okay. Um, again, call the office and ask for me, please. What else? Yep. Jesse said you couldn't pay me to have a baby at this time. And it's true, Jesse. Let me tell you, my friend's daughter, she got married um, a few weeks ago, and she told her mother she refused to have children. She's not going to have children. Her husband doesn't want children because they know that once they give birth in America, they're not going to be their children. It's not going to be there. You can't parent. If you parent, you're wrong. How many people had their kids stolen because they told one of their kids they cannot play with their cell phone anymore? Because for a week, because they disobeyed them. How many? A whole lot of people had their kids removed because they told their children they cannot play with their cell phone. It's not even a beating, right? They have money in their pocket, but because of the cell phone or tablet or whatever, they take your children. Am I right, Stacy? I mean, that has to be in New York as well. I'm telling you guys need to stand up together. And I see Stacy what she's doing with court watching and all this. I wish we can do that here. I really do wish we can do that here. I mean, everywhere in the United States. But you have to stand your ground and you have to fight. And they want us fighting. They want us separated because they don't want us to be marching to that White House, right? They don't want anyone standing up to their malicious crap. Okay. And also, Congress voting, be very mindful who you vote for. Be very mindful who you vote for. Please, the Senate's Congress judges. I started a thing in my area, in my neighborhood, where pretty much the whole area now, um, pretty much is they're going to vote for what I vote for. I'm not joking you. When you go for walks, if you have a dog, go for walks every day, you're going to meet your neighbors and your neighbors' neighbors and go, so on. And say hi to them, greet them, talk to them. And let them know your position. Hey, I'm trying to do the right thing for the state and blah blah blah, and for the country. Look at us now. They will all tell you we are tired of it too. Most of them are Democrats. They're not voting Democrat because they're Democrat. Their mindset changed. There's Democrats who are voting for Republican now, and there's Republicans who like a candidate who's a Democrat, for example. So I'm letting you know, do not vote for a party because you're that party. Because oftentimes you're voting for the demon that's going to destroy your country and your state and your children. Okay? To have a picture of a family person is not enough to say what type of person this person is. Right? I can sit next to Stacy and she's my sister. We can put a man in between us and call him our father. And we look happy and smiling, but underneath all that, what's really going on? Am I right, Stacy? You want to add something to this? Because I know your face. I know that face. I know that look. I know that look. Go ahead. Say what's on your mind, baby. Wait, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
I was just thinking of someone we were talking about earlier.
What? Oh my goodness. Yes. Ah. Yeah.
Those that forget.
Yep. We're not gonna discuss that part. Not today, Stacy. That requires at least 10 cups of coffee. Yeah. At least that much for me. I'm telling you guys, you need to stand together. And again, I say this in every show, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Stacey. Anyone that tells you they can help you who's not an attorney, okay, anyone, and that they have their kids back, do not believe them. Okay? Do not believe them. If they're not attorneys, please do not trust them, because oftentimes they're entertaining a social worker or a person that just wants to make money off of you. Okay? Meaning that they want you to donate to their cause. Okay? So don't do it. I'm begging you, understand that your case is different. And oftentimes you're entertaining someone who would also sell your information to a social worker. That's why oftentimes you see people on social media saying, oh, what county is your case in? Oh, what this and that. If they're not an attorney office, don't believe them. Okay? You have to be very, very, very mindful and who you entertain, especially when you have a CPS case. Am I right or wrong, Stacey? You're muted again, my love.
They're hard because it's at the end of the day, it's all conflict of interest. And they want your kids, they want the money, they want the Title IV federal funding, they want the money that the children bring in. So it's like asking someone to refund $1 million to you that they took. It's very hard.
Yep, yep, yep. And that's true. And Jesse said also she's a Republican. Some of them are corrupt as well. You have to truly be mindful of your vote. Never Democrat, but careful of all. That is so true. Never a Democrat. I'm being honest. Democrats are not for the people. They're really not. You guys need to be careful. Honest to God, I'm not joking, you guys, when I say this. I am researching everything. Where is it? Oh, I left it in the living room. I have like the ballot and I'm researching everybody's name. I'm like digging deep. I did this until like 1:45 a.m. in the morning because I want to vote for the right person. There's one Democrat I voted for, right? But the rest are Republicans because I did do my due diligence. I'm not going to vote for a party because I believe in that party. There's evil in like everything. There's not, you can't say everyone is equal. Can't. Because there's people that Stacey and I helped. Now they're ignoring us. Literally ignoring us when they got what they wanted. And I'm the one who shared the story of that person on Fox to Fox station, news station. So what I'm trying to tell you is that oftentimes we think um, that we're voting for the right person because somebody told us. No, you do your own diligence, your own research, and vote for the right person. Okay? I mean, I can't be any more clearer than that. Oh, Jesse said Hillary Clinton wrote the bill, the CPS adheres to today.
They're
It is.
talking about the same thing you were talking about, Miss G, the provisions on the Child Abuse
Oh,
Prevention and Treatment Act. Yeah.
yeah. But she took over, right? That Bill Clinton started. So what she did is she finished something that when her husband was removed from office, um, she finished something that he wanted to finish, but she took it over. Okay.
Yes, and it's right. The Safe Families Act and Adoption of 1997. That is true too.
Yeah. Yeah. She just enhanced it, right? Am I right, Stacey? Yeah. Gives CPS more power to the than a judge. That is so true. Oh, Jesse, that's true. They give CPS more power than the judges. I tell this to everyone. Everyone. CPS runs the show, not the judge. And if the judge objects to CPS's findings, that judge is removed immediately. And they give you another judge. How many people had a case like that? Where they had a fair judge, and then all of a sudden that fair judge was removed and another judge came over, took over. Have you heard that, Stacey?
Yes, Miss G.
You're like, you're not telling me anything I don't know, Miss G.
It
Yep.
is. It's what it is.
Research every candidate, baby. Research every candidate.
I honestly I have this opinion, Miss G, that I've written enough now and seen enough. When you complain about a judge to the Commission of Judicial Conduct, I don't think that they look at your complaint so much as they look at how much money that judge is bringing in for the state. And if the judge is bringing in very little money, then they might listen to your complaint because it makes no sense. Like in our town, I went to and I read the public censures on judges and so forth. And a judge in our town was censured because for his campaign, he said that he was going to be more tough on outsiders coming into the community because we have a big problem with drugs coming in from outsiders. And he got publicly censured for saying that because it was considered a biased statement against outsiders.
Mhm.
right? He got publicly censured. But my judge called my kids' counselors ex parte and directed them to ignore any past or ongoing medical evidence of child sexual abuse. And he admitted that to the record. He told me to shut your mouth. He fined me $1,000 for saying that's unconstitutional. I have important things to say to the record. I appealed it. I won. You know, he ignored that my ex strangulated our daughter repeatedly, causing her to run away.
Mhm.
And this is on transcript. He said, so what? It was 5 years ago, right?
Mhm.
And that judge is not censured. But the guy who said he was going to be tough on outsiders bringing drugs into the community got censured. It makes no sense other than they must look at how much these judges are bringing in and make their determination of censure based on the financial performance of these judges.
God bless you for saying this. That is the God honest truth, and I also know that to be true. Okay, now that's why when you have a fair judge, they remove that judge immediately because he or she is not going to bring money in. Oftentimes, the BITCH judges are female judges. Oftentimes, you will see a female judge who is a
We
possessed
need to
by.
become judges, Miss G.
Yep, we will be better than that. But
Fix
then
our
again,
stats.
we might not last because we'll be right. We'll be like judging fairly, right?
Yeah, we'll be like the judges that was censured for being tough on crime.
There you go. You see how crazy that is? I'm telling you, if you don't bring enough money for the state and county, they don't want you as a judge. That's why oftentimes you want an attorney to fight your cause, a CPS defense attorney, and they tell you, nope, can't do it. Nope, conflict of interest. Nope, can't do it. Why? Because they want to be judges.
So to
They want
come
to have
full
to speak
circle,
on that. Exactly. It's a full circle. Those
let
judges were social work. I mean, those judges were attorneys at one point.
yeah. So to come full circle,
Hmm.
then this is why judges are complicit with the evil CPS workers, because the more children that they dump into the foster system, the more kids that they place into the custody of abusers, then they're maximizing their Title IV funding income from the federal government and collecting more money from the safe parents that are fighting to protect their kids from abuse. So they generate a lot more money when they do nefarious things like this than when they do the honest and right thing.
Yep. So just be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. This is not about winning anymore. This is about keeping your parental rights. Okay. You might call it winning, but to me, it's not winning. It's a fight. Winning when it's something easy. Like I won a volleyball game. You know what I mean? Because I know how to play volleyball. I won the game. That's when you deal with your children is not about a game. This shit is hard because they set rules in place to violate your parental rights. That's what you guys don't understand. If you listen to any police officer, any police station, sheriff department, or LAPD, or Santa Monica PD, or you know West Side PD, whatever, they all say the same thing. We have rules in that station. And what type of rules are they? To violate your rights. They don't say it like that. But if you really look at their rules and read your rights, they conflict. Do you understand what I just said, Stacy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they conflict.
Yeah.
The court sets
Just
rules
like
in the courtroom too,
that's what I
baby.
was gonna say.
Yeah.
Just like you're not allowed to record the court officers, but yet they're peace officers as defined by New York State, and you are allowed to record them while they're discharging their duties. So, just like you said, their rules are not aligned with your rights.
No, they're not. And they know they're violating your rights. That's why when you speak of your rights, you're exposing them. When you speak of the Constitution, you're exposing them. Am I right, Stace?
Yeah.
They don't want that. It's like a sociopath or a narcissist, right?
Yeah.
When you expose them to themselves, they get angry with you.
They
Why?
do. It was
Because,
so funny, Miss G.
yeah,
I have a Facebook group. It's Be Loud Area Niagara, and it really is it's regionally geographically restricted to the area of Erie and Niagara County, New York. But when I went to court, the description of the group is that we as the community object to the adjudication from the bench that is in favor of child perpetrators over the welfare of our children. We had a guy that was working for CPS as an attorney. He was sex trafficking kids through his position as an attorney with CPS, Nicholas D'Angelo. He pled guilty to 11 to 13 felony charges of rape, including one of them was a 16-year-old girl in CPS custody.
CPS custody. Did you hear that? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And he got 4 months in jail.
4 months in jail.
Yeah, he's
4 months in jail.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a pedophile, level 3 sex offender, violent sex offender. And he got 4 months in jail. So the name of my group, the description of my group is that we object to the adjudication for the bench that is in favor of the perpetrators over the welfare of our children. And the judge in my case was reading the description of my group and was holding that against me. Like, what's wrong with being upset about the fact that we're going too light on pedophiles in our community at the expense of the welfare of children?
Why is he
What's
upset
wrong
with
with
her?
that?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Why would that be even a discussion? Why would that be something that you would raise up exactly in court that he's not happy with that? Why wouldn't you be happy with that? You're letting pedophiles come out. You're opening the freaking borders where sex traffickers are coming in, where cartels are walking in, where terrorists from the Middle East is coming in our borders. And you're saying it's secured? But yet an innocent man is in jail for 25 to 35 years, and then you find out he's innocent after 35 years? Come on! Come on, America. Are you kidding me right now?
But violent sex offenders, level 3, only get 4 months in jail. Out by Thanksgiving.
Exactly. And you know what's so sad? There are innocent men in there and women who committed no crime.
But they knew too much.
And they framed them purposely.
Yeah.
And this is where the thing is, if all of us had the same mindset, Stacey, without violence, but we march together to the White House, well, Biden is probably going to be taking a nap or something.
Senior living.
Yeah, senior living. He's in senior home right now. The senior home in the White House. Yeah, I mean, marching to the White House. I know Camilla and them. Oh my God, I just can't stand these people. God forgive me. Yeah, they're not here to help us. Okay. We need to do our march though. Our march should not be one day. It shouldn't be only for a certain cause. Do you know how many people marched for, what's her name, that singer? Her dad, Britney Spears. So many silly women marched for her.
It's all right.
But well, no, it's not all right. But yet, you march for a woman that has so much money.
But you know what, Miss G?
You're not marching for women who lost their children, though. I'm being honest. Now, I'm being honest, okay?
But let me tell you something, though.
Okay.
In a lot of wealthy families, they will do this to abuse the ex-wife. So I've assisted in a lot of cases where the very rich husband, when the wife discloses she found pedophilia in his electronics, then they will retaliate on her, put her in a guardianship like Britney Spears was, and try to put her in a mental institution so that they can cover their dirty secret. So protesting about Britney Spears does help some women who are victims of domestic violence because they did the right thing and exposed pedophilia and such.
Do you see? Exactly right. And that's why the Congress is destroying right now. The Congress, I actually, if you guys really want to know what a fight looks like, watch the Congress destroying all these pedophiles in office. Watch them exposing the Republican Congress exposing one by one with evidence. Evidence. They're not just talking, they're showing evidence with Zuckerberg, Facebook guy, Congress, teared his ass down. Teared his ass down. That little midget looked smaller than he is. Okay? Also, his little flying monkeys behind him, or they were all sitting down like they didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to say. But if you look at the Republican Congress, God bless them, each and every one of them, exposing everyone with evidence. The truth. You see the corrupt ones when they enable the president and his vice president, meaning they see them do wrong, but they're enabling them by making excuses for them. That's why I said, do not, right now, honestly, I wouldn't vote Democrat. Not one is running that's really faithful. The ones who are exposing. And how come that Biden can do the same thing? And same thing with our children court. Think about it. The president can do the same thing that Trump did. He's not being held accountable.
That happened to my own court case, Miss G. They obstructed over 50 some documents and tampered with documents in my court case.
Yep.
And the same court that is besmearing Trump did the same thing to me in my case.
Yep. You guys are keeping the truth hidden. And that's why they confuse you. And you guys are listening to the wrong media news on TV. You guys are listening to the wrong ones, because if you notice, there are the truth in other stations that's not being shown by CNN, by NBC, all that. They're not showing the whole clips. They're only showing you what they want you to know. You can't be in the dark forever. You have to open your eyes and you have to wake up. Because America is starting to wake up one by one. But you have to also wake up and understand this much. Do not entertain corrupt people. Do not trust anyone with your case, especially on social media. Okay? Do not. You can be entertaining demons and you don't even know, because you're so desperate and you think they're victims like you. They're not. They just want you to believe that they are. They want you to believe that they got their kids back and they can help you. No, baby. Completely different situation, completely different case. And I guarantee you 100% of the time, that person telling you that they got their kid back, not true. Stacy knows who I'm talking about. So again, do not believe everything you hear. Be mindful. Keep your mouth shut. I think one of the attorneys, Attorney Jennifer Ani, I love her so much. She said on the show one time years ago, saying less is a lot better than saying more. Okay? So let your yes be yes and your no be no, period. If somebody says, I saw you at 7-Eleven buying drugs from homeless guy at 2:30 in the morning. Were you there? A part of you want to say, well, if you saw me, asshole, so why are you asking me, right? But your answer should be no. No. There is no extra explanation in that. Am I right, Stacy? If you really think about it, let your no be no, yet let your yes be yes. However, if somebody says, your mother told me that you did drugs 2 weeks ago, don't get mad at your mom. Your mom didn't say that. I know that for a fact. She didn't say that. They just want you to fight with her. So your answer should be no. That's it. You understand? What are they going to write that you said? Now, when your mouth starts opening, you're going to have diarrhea falling out of it. Once you have diarrhea coming out of your mouth, that's when your case becomes worse. Am I right, Stacy? Yeah. I think Stacy's gone. Stacy, where are you? I'm going to keep you in my prayers. You guys are so awesome. Tess Young and
I'm
G
here. I'm
said,
here.
you guys are sweet. I'm not giving up, but how do I fight for rights?
Hold on
They
one more second, Miss G. I'll be right back. Hold
don't
on.
care. Tess, okay, honey, I'll wait. Tess, I don't know the whole story. I don't know if I spoke with you before or not because oftentimes you guys use different names. Um, but I would like to know a little bit more before I can even answer that question, to be honest with you. If you guys need to get a hold of me, you can text me at my work direct number, which is 626-631-8901, or you can call the office at the 888-888-6582 and excuse me, and ask for me. If you want to email me your story, make sure you include your county, the state your case is in, and how many children are involved, when the children were removed. When I say when, meaning the month and the year. Give me that at least, right? Let me know what the next court hearing is and what type of hearing it is. That's very important for me to determine what we can do to help you. You can email all that information to me at GAT as in Tom, G as in gold, A as in apple, T as in Tom, at vincentwdavis.com. Okay. If you're in New York City, Buffalo, New York, or in New York, get a hold of Stacy. Can't afford an attorney? Try to get a hold of Stacy. If you want to get a hold of Stacy, email me and I'll send her your information. Okay? And when she's available, she will contact you, and she usually does. Is that okay with you, Stacy? I can't hear you.
It's okay with me, Miss G.
Thank you. So we're gonna do whatever we can to help you guys. If you can't afford an attorney, that doesn't mean that's it. I don't operate that way, and Stacy knows that about me. After work, I will do whatever I can to direct you to the right person or to see what I can do. And usually I will have to talk to Davis about cutting your retainer down if your LA County case, which is local. Okay. I will do everything in my power to lessen your retainer. And Stacy knows that about me as well. Yeah. So don't hesitate to get a hold of me. And if you do text me, and it's after hours, I get to you guys right away if I can. If I'm on the phone, I won't be able to. But sometimes you guys will text me at 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I doze off. I'm tired. Um, but once I see it in the morning, God willing, I do respond back and I do text you back or call you back. Okay. Either way, you're gonna hear from me unless God forbid, I'm no longer here. Okay. So and Jesse, I love that comment. He is destroying the country, and a lot of us needs to speak out more because when we show fear to the enemies, right? I'm not saying be violent. I'm saying stand up for what's right because they want us to be silenced for a reason. We pay their salary for God's sakes. We pay their damn salary, so we have the right to fire their buns. Okay, so I completely agree with you. She said that to Jesse. I don't know what Jesse said. Biden is destroying. Yep, yep. There is so many of us mommies that are scared to speak up. We feel defeated or ashamed, but there is power in numbers. Yes, I would march in a million mommy march. That's right, baby. See what I'm talking about? You give me goosebumps right now. I love you so much. We need to march. We need to be heard. Stacy's doing all she can in her state. We should be doing all we can in our states. Okay? And let's not entertain stupidity and let's focus on the truth. I hope I said that right. Let's not entertain stupidity and let's focus on the truth because the truth will set us free. Let's do it. Jesse, I've been trying, man. Every time I align people together, they flake at the last minute. I've been trying for the last how many years now, Stacy? 3 years, dude. 3 years. So it's kind of hard, dude. When I can't just pick a sign and go out there by myself. They attack at will. Yeah. Yeah, they will attack no matter what, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. God made warriors. Okay? We are warriors. We are the salt of the earth. We are the light of the earth. Think about it. We are the light of the earth. We are the salt of the earth. We are. We are protected by God. But if we get scared, you're disconnecting. Fear disconnects you from God. Sin disconnects you from God. And I told you guys this a million times. Sin disconnects us from our Creator. Okay? Keep fighting. And I'm talking not physically fighting, talking about, you know, standing up for the rights of parents and also for your right as a parent. Jesse said we need to let them know we are fed up. What better way, Million Mommy Marsh? But it's not just mommy, baby. It's daddies too. There's fathers who are victims. And I'm being honest with you. There are dads who are victims. It's not just, we should call it, what should we call it, Stacy? The Million Mommy Marsh or the Million Mommy Daddy Marsh? What? I can't hear you, honey. Damn it, Stacy.
The Million Family March?
The Million Family Marsh. The Million Family Marsh. There you go. We're gonna call it the Million Family Marsh. Okay? So Stacy came up with it and I think it's great. Jesse, I hope you agree with us. But there are times when you deal with a sociopathic dad, or narcissistic dad, you just don't want to even include the name dad in there because they don't really hold the title very well. So I get it. Like we all have dealt with, some of us more than others. But, again, the family march, because we are fighting for our family all together. Grandparents are fighting, relatives, mothers, fathers, and good mothers, okay, are fighting for their children's rights and their rights as parents. Do you want to add anything before we close this?
Just that you're right, Miss G. I missed you too. I'm glad to be back on with the show with you today. Felt very nice.
I'm so glad you're here. I just wish your hospital schedule can change. But I hate to change it for the show, but I just wish just a miracle happens where you just
It might change for March, Miss G.
hope so. I hope so. Because I do miss you so much. I hope so. But I do call you all the time. Even when you're at work, I'm like, and you're like, I'm at work. I'm at work.
Miss G, you're here all day.
I know. Like, Stacy, where are you? I haven't seen you. What's going on? So, yeah. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Tomorrow's my birthday, so I will not do anything tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna be older. And we'll see you guys on Thursday and Friday. Okay? So Thursday and Friday, Stacy, God willing, is gonna be with us. And Treasure, hopefully she's gonna be with us as well. And yeah, we'll discuss more, Jesse, of the Million Family March. All right, Jess. So we came up with the name. Let's make it happen, Jess. If you're God, I wish you did. Jessie say she's in LA or Texas? I can't remember. If any one of you guys are in LA, please let's make this happen in LA. If you guys are in Texas, make it happen in Texas. Stacy's doing everything she can in her, neighborhood or in her state. Let's do it, guys. I'm serious. We need to do it. But a lot of people are afraid to miss work. A lot of people are afraid, you know, we can always do it on the weekends. Can we do it on the weekends? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Or we can do it Thursday, Friday, the end of the week?
We'll see, Miss G.
Look what the Look Underdog said. I hear about you, Stacy. Miss G is the best. Oh, aw, so sweet. Means I talk about you a lot. I say good things about you. I do. Um, so yeah, let's make it happen. Again, Million Family Marsh. Can we write that down, someone? Stacey, are you gonna remember that? Let's talk about it in all the shows. So it's gonna be Million Family Marsh in all United States. Okay, USA. Okay, this is important. I'm serious. I wrote it down. My writing sucks, but I wrote it down. It's a sticky note, and I'm putting it on my computer. Okay.
Okay, Miss G.
All right. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye, guys. I love you all. I'll see you guys Thursday, God willing.